Good morning, welcome to another yoga session. Today we're going to focus on a bit of balance with some leg strength to get us warm. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Hope you've got a drink, a mat and a bit of space. That's pretty much all you need. But to be fair, I haven't actually got that much space today as my kitchen's turning into a storeroom. Right, standing in the middle of the mat. Nice deep breaths. Inhale your arms up above your head and over to your left. You can use one of your arm for support if you can't do this. Inhale up and exhale over to the right. Inhale back to centre. Inhale, slight back bend. Forwards into a forward bend. And then into plank, and then you're going to drop down into a push up and then arch your back and then back into downward dog, and we're going to do that again to get warm up. Inhale, exhale. Now you're going to step your left leg between your hands and turn your back foot out and up into warrior pose. And exhale your arms out either side. And now what we're going to do is lean forwards this way. Inhale and go back into reverse warrior. Inhale forwards again. And inhale back to reverse warrior. And down, back into a plank. Another vinyasa. Inhale, arch your back, and then exhale, push back into downward dog. Stepping your right foot forwards, turn your back foot out. Inhale up. Arms out either side. Exhale forwards. Inhale to reverse warrior. Inhale forwards. And exhale to reverse warrior one last time. And down, back into plank. One more vinyasa. Back into downwards dog. Step forward into a forward fold. Just hold that for a minute and relax. You can bend your knees if that's comfortable. And inhaling up with a slight back bend. Right, now we're going to do some balancing poses. Some of these we'll have done before, in fact probably all of them we'll have done before at some point. So we're going to start by just dropping down and then lowering up onto the balls of your feet. And then if you can stay on the balls of your feet, standing up and reach your arms up. Hopefully you won't have a low ceiling above you. And then again staying, if you can, on the balls of your feet, down back into the sitting pose. And inhale back up to standing one last time. And down. Right, now we're going to do a series, a complex of balancing movements. So we're going to start leaning backwards and then out to the side and then finally forwards, as you can see, like that. So we're going to do each side a couple of times, moving through the poses. So start on your right foot, that doesn't really matter as long as you swap. Lifting your left leg up and leaning back. And then over to the right side in sort of a star pose. And then slowly moving forwards into the warrior three. Doesn't matter if you fall, I occasionally do, although you do get better at it. It is just building strength balances. I mean, some people have better balance than others, but ultimately it's the strength when you're working on balance. Back to start, swapping legs, lifting your right leg up and leaning back. And then over to your left. And then forwards. Whoa, whoa, nearly went. See? Back to start, swapping over legs again. Left leg up, leaning back. To the right. And then finally forwards to the warrior pose. What you can do to challenge yourself a bit more is have your arms behind you, like a kind of dive. And one last time on the left leg, right leg up. Moving over to the left. And then forwards into your warrior three or your diving pose. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. There we go, back to standing. Right, and then this time, moving your weight onto your right leg. So take the front of your left foot with your left hand, right arm straight up and just lean forwards to get a nice back bend. Just go to a comfortable place. Try and keep your thigh, your legs straight, your left leg that's bent, keep that straight facing forwards. And then what we're going to do is move that forwards and then take your left foot with both hands, try and step if you can, to a standing forward fold with your right leg slightly bent for stability. And back to standing, swapping the sides, taking your right foot with your right hand, and then coming forwards. And again, moving forwards, take your right foot with both hands to a standing forward bend. And down. Right, I've got one last standing balancing pose, it's the old eagle pose. One I quite like because it stretches your shoulders and your IT band as well as giving you that balance challenge. So moving on to your left leg, bring your right ankle across your left knee, and then you want to cross your arms over and try and wrap your hands around like that so your palms face each other, and then just sink down, turn your tailbone under to keep your back straight. Inhale up, swap sides. And sinking down. Again, keeping your lower back nice and straight and stretched. Inhaling up. Whew. Alright, slight back bend. Inhale, exhale forwards. So now we're going to try balancing pose on your hands. I think we did this one a few weeks ago. It's one that, quite honestly, I occasionally struggle with. So you might need a bit of practice, but do as much as you can. So you want to stand up onto your tiptoes, bring your knees into your armpits, and press them into the back of your arms, and just slowly push forwards until you can eventually lift your feet off the floor like that. And we're just holding it for as long as we can, looking forwards. And back down. Whew. There we go. Right, and now we're going to go for the headstand, the supported headstand. So hopefully I'm not going to fall backwards, because there are things that I will fall onto and hurt myself. I would suggest, if you're not comfortable with it, make sure you've got some space around you, possibly some pillows in case you do go over. But there's a halfway point in the pose that's a bit easy to keep your balance. If you keep your legs bent above you, that's a bit easier. So let's see how we get on. So clasp your hands, elbows on the floor, head down, and then slowly push up and bring your legs above you. You can just stop here or go for the full pose, and your weight should be on your elbows more than your head. You don't want to be compressing your neck. There we go. Got away with that one. You're supposed to lower slowly down with a bit more control than that, but I really didn't fancy landing on a box of wine bottles. Whew. Right, moving on to your bum. We're going to do some sort of balancing core poses now. Pretty standard stuff. It's the boat pose and upwards plank. So the boat, you can do half boat or full boat, and the plank, you can do a full upwards plank, or you can bend your knees like that if you find that difficult. And we're going to alternate between the two. Right. Inhale up into your boat pose. Try and keep your back straight. Exhale down into your upward plank. Pushing your hips upwards. Exhale down, back straight into the boat pose. And into upward plank. Into your boat pose one last time. And one more upward plank. Exhale down. We're just going to stretch the back out after that with a forward fold, grabbing your ankles or the outside of your feet if you can. Just relax down. You're not straining too much here, but as you relax and exhale, you can pull yourself slightly further forward to deepen the pose. Again, only as far as you're comfortable. Releasing and inhaling back up. We're going to do a twist now, so you want to cross your right leg over your left and brace it against your knee, and then you can do the same kind of thing with your elbow on your right knee and twist and look behind you, keeping your spine nice and long. See if you can twist a bit more into it as you exhale. Again, only to a point that's comfortable for you. Release that on the other side. Releasing that. Swinging round onto your knees. Extend your left leg out to the side and have your foot flat on the floor. Slide your left arm down your leg to around you, just above your ankle. And then lean across, keeping your body nice and straight in line, not leaning forwards. Inhale up, other side, and exhale down. Inhale up. Staying on your knees into camel pose. Slowly lean back with your hands on your lower back for support, and then if you can, just take your heels and lean your head back, let your hat fall off. And come back up with your hands on your lower back for support. Drop down onto your heels, put hat back on. And now we're going to stretch out the front of your ankles, which is good after the balancing poses. So just leaning back with your hands behind you and just shift your weight gently on to the front of your feet so you can feel the stretch down the front of your shins and your feet. You don't need to stretch too much, you don't want to do yourself an injury. And coming up. I'm just going to rest for a moment in a child pose. It's good for sort of stretching out your spine and relaxing your back muscles, which, as I probably mentioned in the past, that's something I've struggled with over the years, is back issues. Started a long time ago, but yoga is one of the things that really, I think, helps me manage those issues. Just relaxing, let your spine stretch out, and deep breaths. Let your shoulders relax down towards the mat. Coming up when you're ready. And we're just going to move forward into a cobra pose. Just to stretch out those stomach muscles and pushing your shoulders back. And you're really extending your spine and getting a good stretch through your back muscles and your stomach as well. Pushing back out of that. We're just going to end up with a quick leg stretch, and then we're nearly done. Legs out wide, and then just slowly relax down. It feels like you're not getting very low when you start this one, but over time you do, as you relax into the pose, you do come further forwards. You kind of use your heels to sort of pull you down as well. And then inhaling up and just finishing off with some nice deep breaths and just letting the muscles for your body relax. Close your eyes and just focus on the breaths and letting each muscle group relax as you exhale. So just let the muscles in your head, neck, shoulders, core and your legs, everything just go. And you can do that for as long as you can, as long as you want. But yeah, it's nice to finish off with a nice relaxing session. There we go, and thank you to everyone watching, and hopefully see you again.